I have a very specific question in regards to the Ahmadiyya religion. And since we were discussing Hazrat Isa's second coming, and a part of that second coming was to kill the fitna of Al Masih ad Dajjal, where we see clear cut indications in the hadith of Prophet Sallam, and we see clear cut physical descriptions of Al Masih ad Dajjal. Now, although having said that, I've seen some scholars like Sheikh Imran and a book writer, Ahmed Thompson, taking the stance that Al Masih ad Dajjal is not a physical human being, an individual, but a world system of the modern world, and all the technologies and everything. But upon my interpretation, as how I see it, I think it's talking about a physical individual, the way the ahadith describes Al-Masih ad-Dajjal. Now, my question to the Ahmadi community is that who was the Dajjal in Mirza's time? Because we see that Mirza Saab enters the picture out of nowhere, changing the whole dynamic. So who was the Dajjal in Mirza's time, and how do you take him out of Qadian and place him in Babil Lut, where Hazrat Isa would be supposed to be killing Al-Masih ad-Dajjal? Thank you.
So, Brother Alawi, thank you very much for coming. Obviously, you will not get any response because they will never dare to give their position, but I can help you with something. So, these are different sayings Mirza Ghulam Qadiani had been adopting or had been interpreting Dajjal with. Once he said that wo Dajjal padriyon ka firqa hai. He said that this Antichrist is actually sect of the Christian preachers. Then he said हमारे नजदीक मुमकिन है कि दज्जाल से मुराद बा इकबाल कौमें हों. He said that in my opinion it is possible. Look at the word. He said I'm a prophet. He said it is possible that Dajjal is actually the dignified nation. Okay, that is second opinion. Third one, हदीसों पे गौर करने से मालूम होता है कि दरअसल दज्जाल शैतान का नाम है. He said when we contemplate on ahadith, we come to know that Dajjal means the devil. And those common, before I move forward, those common, because this one, Dajjal is devil. He said in this place and he said in many other places as well. For example, as you can see on the screen, Dajjal no इंसान में से नहीं. Look at this one. Dajjal नोए इंसान में से नहीं, बल्कि शैतान का नाम है. He said devil is not from the mankind, rather he is a devil. It is the name of the devil. Look at this one. Was devil present in the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Of course, yes, because he said that when Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, is coming from one path, shaitan or devil, out of fear, he changed his path. It means that this is just one evidence, but anyways, that Dajjal was present. Dajjal was present from the time of Adam alayhi salam. And hadiths are telling us Dajjal will appear. Khuruj Dajjal. Dajjal will appear or exit from somewhere. The point is, if shaitan is the Dajjal, he was already there. But obviously, remember two principles. There are two principles which Ahmadiyya polemic is based on. First principle is words have no meaning. I.e., when Mirza Ghulam Qadiani said, Dajjal is not from the mankind, but it is the name of devil. In this quote, no words have any meaning. You can give any meaning what you want, according to the situation. Words have no meaning. That's one principle of Ahmadiyya polemic. Second principle is, you can never ever use your intellect. No way. The moment you will use, end of Ahmadiyya ideology. Why? You can see, if Dajjal is devil, then what is the point that Dajjal zahir hoga? He will appear. He will emerge. How can he appear if he is there? Anyhow. So then he says, लुगत में दज्जाल झूठों के गिरोह को कहते हैं. Another interpretation. He said Dajjal in the lexicon, in the dictionary, Dajjal means a group of liars. झूठों का गिरोह. Okay. Now, before I end and I give you brother opportunity to comment on Brother Alawi, just one point. Oh, common Ahmadis, is it not true that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani and the Ahmadiyya clergy is telling you day in day out? There is a hadith in Bukhari that Prophet ﷺ saw a dream. In his dream, he saw two Messiah. One was Antichrist and one was the coming Messiah, i.e. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani. Hang on a second. Our Prophet saw two human beings, and you are telling us that those two human beings, one of them is Dajjal, one of them is the coming day Messiah, i.e. Mirza Ghulam Qadiani. But hang on a second. Prophet is seeing two human beings. Mirza Ghulam Qadiani is a human being and still remains human being as a Messiah. But what about the other one? The Antichrist. Prophet saw him as human being as well, but he becomes what? It is a group of Christian preachers. It is the name of the devil. It is the group of the liars. How come? Why are you not consistent? Because if you want to use that hadith and if you want to deceive the people, hadith is telling us that according to the dream, both Antichrist and Messiah, both of them are two human beings. But you accept one as human being, i.e. Mirza Ghulam Qadiani, the Messiah, but you reject for others to be human being. Why? And remember, inconsistent is a sign that something is deceptive. Ji Alawi Sahib.
Ji, Brother Imtiaz, thank you so much for this beautiful explanation. And if I could just add something to what you said for a reply to to this question, I would like to point out an incident that happened in the lifetime of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and that was of an individual called Safi ibn Sayyad, as
Yes.
you must have known
Yes.
about him.
Yeah.
So if we, even if for the sake of the argument, we take this interpretation of Mirza Sahab that Dajjal was supposed to be a group of Christians, some deviated individuals. So why was Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu, a true prophet sent by Allah, confused about this little teenager who was in Medina? Why was this particular individual confused to be Al-Masih ad-Dajjal when Dajjal is supposed to be a group of Christian disbelievers? This does not make sense entirely. So it's absurd just to see how manipulative they can be and how, twisted meanings they can attribute to their writings just in order to fit what they preach. It's really absurd to, know and hear about these things. But thank you so much for your explanation, Brother Imtiaz. Jazakallah
Yeah,
khair.
most welcome. Because you mentioned about Ibn Sayyad, so let's inshallah deal with him as well, and let's make it even more confusing for Ahmadiyya ideology. As you can see in the first quotation, मिर्जा गुलाम कहने से बास सहाबा कतई और यकीनी तौर पे इब्ने सय्याद को मसीह दज्जाल समझ बैठे थे. He said some of the companions with certainty, with yaqeen, they considered the individual Ibn Sayyad as the antichrist. Let's move on. In the second quote he says, जाहिर है कि सहाबा में किस कदर इख्तलाफ था. कोई जसासा वाले दज्जाल को माहूद समझता था और कोई कसम खा के कहता था इब्न सय्याद. He said that look how much difference was there amongst the companions. May Allah be pleased with all of them. He said how much difference was there amongst the companions with regard to identity of the Antichrist. He said some of them used to call Jasasa. As you know, the hadith of Tamim ad-Dari, that Jasasa was, basically a very, weird state individual, but state again, an individual, which was seen by Tamim ad-Dari at a distant island. Anyhow, that's not our topic, but he's telling us that there were two. First, he said that some companions said that Ibn Sayyad is the Antichrist. In the second quote, he said that some companions said it is Jasasa, and some said it is Ibn Sayyad. Look at the third one. Sahaba का इस बात पे इजमा हो गया था कि Ibn Sayyad ही दज्जाल माहूद है. Allahu Akbar. Look at this. He said that it was the ijma of
Astaghfirullah.
people. It was the ijma, the consensus of the companions. The Ibn Sayyad was Dajjal. There are 2 points here. Number one, he himself is telling, and by the way, don't forget, all the three quotes from the same book, 365 page, 422 page, 211. All the three from the same book. He is telling us in the first two quotes that Sahaba have multiple opinions. In the third quote, he says it was ijma of the Sahaba that Dajjal is Ibn Sayyad. There are two problems here. Problem number one, then why did you say that Sahaba were differ on this one? And number two is the most important. Alvi bhai, look at this point now.
Yes, sir.
If Sahaba have ijma, consensus, if they have, according to Mirza Ghulam Qadiani, if Sahaba have consensus, that Ibn Sayyad is Dajjal, how come Mirza Ghulam Qadiani went against the ijma of Sahaba? Because he's telling us, I showed you already, that it is the group of the Christian preachers, it is the name of the devil, it is the name of the liars, etc. How come?
It's a beautiful point, Imtiaz bhai.
Who gave right to Mirza Ghulam Qadiani to go against ijma of the Sahaba? Now, we are not calling it ijma. Mirza Ghulam Qadiani himself called it ijma. Oh, common Ahmadis, was Mirza Ghulam Qadiani in this position that he could go against ijma of Sahaba? First of all, he lied about the Sahaba. There's no ijma. Secondly, if there was ijma as per his own quotation, then why did he go against that? And if somebody goes against ijma of the Sahaba is a Muslim. And last point, but it is not the lead. The problem is, when Ibn Sayyad was there in Medina, so Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and because Sayyidina Umar, may Allah be pleased with, he said that, oh Prophet, I'm gonna kill him. Prophet said no. If he is Dajjal, then he will be killed by Ibn Maryam. And if he is not Dajjal, and you still end up killing him, then you will be accountable for that, because you kill somebody who was not guilty of something. Now, understand the point here. Oh, common Ahmadis, we cannot make you believe in something, but we can present something. Is it not true that Prophet ﷺ is confirming that Dajjal is a human being? In other hadith, Prophet has given the resemblance. Prophet pointed out to human being. He said that Dajjal will be like such and such person. And despite all of that, because Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani was not in a position to explain the concept of Dajjal, he get away with that like every other thing. Anyhow,
Allahu Akbar. Gee, Brother Imtiaz, that is it. Thank you so much for answering my question. That cleared my doubt a lot. And thank you so much for, letting me speak on this forum. And I wish you all the best. And may Allah keep you firm and protected on your mission. Jazakallah khair. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum.